Going live. You're live! Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be playing Arc Raiders on Steam Deck. So Arc Raiders is a UE5 game, and it's a UE5 game without Nanite nor Lumen, and the Steam Deck compatibility is marked as unknown as of right now, but on the Proton DB it's on gold. That means that at least on Linux it's not completely broken. How's it going, guys? Welcome. So once you see this on video format, will be basically cuts of the live stream. If you want to see the entire VOD of the live stream or want to talk to me about anything, there's a link in the pinned comment once this becomes a video. So it's basically highlights from the stream. Right now I'm live, so I can talk to you guys. Hi, monkey with metaphysical ego. Yeah, rare Steam Deck stream. You've been wondering if it's compatible. Well, you're about to find out, luckily. So we're going to take a look at this. And I'm sorry, I think I marked the latency wrong. I might take a bit longer to respond to you guys. I didn't do that on purpose, so apologies in advance. So, yep, the game is obviously not verified yet, but if we go to Proton DB, it's marked as gold. Some people say that it doesn't work. Small text, basically. So, yeah. Let's see it. Your Claw 8 is 15 minutes away. Ooh, that's very... I mean, what are you doing here? Go grab it. Jesus Christ. It'll be fine. On that one, it'll be a cakewalk. Nothing like Steam Deck content. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm trying something different now. Instead of this time, because I'm limited on time, record a video from scratch, I'll do the stream, take parts from the stream and edit a video together. But the first thing that you'll see is, well, this is the first time I run it on Steam Deck, so you can see my entire experience through it if you're curious. Right now, I don't know how it runs. I played it on PC. It ran pretty damn well for a UE5 game. So here, I'm pretty comfortable thinking about maybe hitting 40s. Depends a lot on the CPU usage right now. I will see it together. But what really scares me in games like this is the anti-cheat. It's easy anti-cheat, but they probably whitelisted Linux, so we should be good to go. We'll see what happens. But the Claw 8 is Intel graphics, right? But I heard it runs fantastically well, so you have a lot of fun with it. I hate the names for the CPUs though. They put, oh yeah, the Intel Arc AI Plus 522 Ultra. I don't know, it's gibberish at this point. Isn't the same devs from DICE Engine? Yeah, it's people that went out of DICE, created their own studio, built the finals on Unreal Engine. So yeah, and it crashed. Oh no. If it still crashes, we're doing Proton experimental, but first look is pretty scary. Windows sadly going to have to install the Xbox full screen experience. Yeah. Okay, it's crashing on startup. Let's try Proton experimental. That's what some people said in Proton DB. Thoughts before running it? I think it'll be fine. As long as it launches, we should be good. But the game, I'm enjoying it. It's like lighter Escape from Tarkov. I don't feel as punished by dying. We'll see what happens. Okay. Experimental seems to be the way to do it. Awesome. Okay. Let me put this so you guys don't get obstructed view. Okay, it's running the easy anti-cheat thing. We're getting further. Okay, yeah, Battlefront 2. Yeah, I had to use experimental as well. Yeah, good point. Yeah, that's usually the best first step if a game doesn't work. Okay, it launched. There's an icon behind me. Doing good. So first impressions. It's going to compile shaders right now. That's what it did on PC. So yeah, the CPU is maxed out, it's compiling shaders, but it doesn't fit on the UI on the smaller screen. I'm pretty sure the text will be pretty small though. Yeah, it's a live video, don't worry. You hate live events, just release the video. Oh, no, don't worry. It won't take long. This will be used for the video. It will be edited and it will be like maybe 8 to 10 minutes long. I agree with your services, yeah. And it's preloading shaders. It's almost finished, so it took nothing. But as I was saying, I will trim this into pieces, and if somebody wants to watch the entire thing, they'll have this bought for the stream. Okay, so there's my character. Let's see the settings. Okay, so by default, 800p. Okay, TAAU, which is cheaper than TSR. Resolution scale automatic. So by default, it goes to 96%. I don't know if that changes anything. RTX on static, so there's no ray tracing, and everything on low. Okay, this seems fair to me. Although maybe it's a bit high, the resolution. 768p, maybe a little bit too high for the Steam Deck, but let's go into practice and see the performance there. So default settings, let me put some text so you guys can follow once this becomes a video. This is basically 800p, TAAU plus low. And let's see what happens. So play, we're going to the practice range. Yeah, this is all fine. Okay, let's see if I can join the practice thing. Okay, matchmaking. I'm not seeing the matchmaking icon though. Weird. Yeah, I'm confused. Doesn't say matchmaking. Maybe it doesn't fit. It says I'm matchmaking, but I'm not matchmaking. Okay, maybe a UI bug. But usually says matchmaking right next to my head. Thanks, 1-8 Kaneki. Same to you, sir. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's matchmaking for real. What happens if I choose another place? Oh well. In the meantime, let me check the other things. SteamOS gets good desktop someday? Yeah, one day. Hopefully soon. But we're talking about Valve time, so who knows at this point. Anything could happen. I mean, one day Steam will just release a random YouTube video saying, oh yeah, and by the way, SteamOS desktop, it's out. You can download it. Yeah, I think this is bugged. Because I'm already readied up and nothing happens. Yep. What happens if I grab a controller? There we go, matchmaking. Okay, with the controller it did matchmake. That's so freaking weird. Let me try that again. If I'm using a mouse, I hit play, I go to the practice range, and I ready up. Okay, now it matchmakes. I don't know what happened there. But once you see matchmaking like you see here, whoop, it means you're matchmaking. Half-Life 3 SteamOS exclusive. That would be hilarious. But I wouldn't be... No, I would be surprised if it was. Sorry, we only have Linux builds over here. I apologize. It only works on Linux. That'd be hilarious. Okay. We're outside, full GPU. And by the way, we're at 800p. Ooh, that's stutter though. Oh, maybe it's because I'm using a mouse. Hold up. Yeah, okay, this game is not friendly if you're using mouse and keyboard on Steam Deck. That's probably because how it detects the mouse and keyboard. If I'm using mouse and keyboard, the game is struggling to detect it, to detect my... It's trying to use the controller, forcing the controller. So if I use mouse and keyboard, this happens, but if I use controller, it's fine. Maybe that's why it was bugged, I think. Okay, I'll plug in my other controller. Maybe with that, I have a garbage controller that has the Steam logo. So I can at least access all those features. Give me 1 sec. I need to turn it on. I don't remember. There you are. Oh, that's pretty funny. Okay, here in Bluetooth, Horipad Steam. Okay. Although I need to close and open the game again, I think. Yeah, I do. Anyway, before doing that, let me use the actual deck controller. I was scared about the stuttering, but again, mouse and keyboard thing. Just don't grab a mouse and keyboard with this. At least not if you're playing like this, like I'm doing. Yeah, it feels pretty damn good. Actually, I'll lock it to 40 in this case. In a situation like this, 40 seems to be the way to go. We're in practice, that's why I'm saying 40s and no higher settings. Let me see if I can add shadows though. That's the only thing. I know I'm a graphics whore. But allow me a second. Shadows on... There we go. At least something. On textures, how we... On VRAM we're fine. 2.5 gigs. We can do medium. Yeah, let's try something like this. Yeah, I mean... That looks way better. The thing is, can we hold 40s? Probably not. We can maybe use some upscaling. Yeah, no lumen, no nanite. That's how it goes. 45 FPS. I should use TSR, honestly. TSR looked okay. Let me increase the resolution. It already looks pretty soft without upscaling. What happens if I do 77%? Okay. 600p. I think 600p is good. Especially if we're looking for... Oh yeah, this looks way better. What the hell? It destroys TAAU's image quality. Okay. Way better. Max out FOV? Sure. Let's see if it impacts performance in any way. FOV 70. We're at 46 FPS, 47. If I max it out, we are at 50. Okay, you get better performance with a wider FOV. Makes sense for the pop-in. So I'm probably going to lose frames if the FOV is more narrow. Yeah, on some UE5 games, it's the other way around. So maybe some extra FOV to get a couple extra frames. I think on a smaller screen, 70 is fine. Maybe 75. Yeah, 77. Everything on 77. But again, we're talking about... Oh, hang on. Rearrange controller order. There we go. Now I don't have to awkwardly hold my Steam Deck. There we go. So 800p, borderless full screen, frame rate limit. I'll lock it to 40 personally, and the game crashed, I think. Yeah, it did. Okay, don't lock it to 40 maybe. Use the SteamOS FPS lock. Yeah. Yeah, the LOD stuff is different with the wider FOV. So as I was saying, TSR I think makes a bit more sense. Looks way better than TAAU. And I tried on the PC livestream, XeSS and FSR. FSR looks terrible. XeSS looks way too soft in motion. TSR seems to be the best of both worlds. Not perfect, but low settings plus medium shadows and textures. And we should be good. Let me get this a bit smaller for when the video is done. There it goes. So 800p TSR at which percentage? That's the question. I think 77% look good for 40 FPS. So I might do that. Proton sometimes gives error compatibility. Which one? I wish I could lock the frame rate to whatever I wanted without being on handheld mode. But it's a niche, a niche thing that I'm the only one that needs it. So settings, let me see if I can lock it to something lower. Ooh, 600. Now, if it starts at 600, it's going to be a pain in the ass. Please tell me that the minimum is 30. Okay. 45, 40. Okay. We get a 40 FPS option here. The resolution, the render resolution is 600p. I think this is good enough if you're targeting 40s. FOV 70, because it increases performance in this case. Medium anti-aliasing, medium shadows to have any shadow there. Medium textures. And if this is not enough, we're going to lower it further. But this should give us a good experience. So let's just jump into a match. I'm going to suck very, very badly on this one. But that's fine. You guys know me. I'm the guy that... Oh, hang on. Yeah, ready up. I'm the person that hates aiming with controllers, but I still practice from time to time. Could work on last gen. With the CPU the last gen has, I don't think it would. I mean, it's not heavy on the CPU, don't get me wrong. But on the GPU, it will be way too hard, I think. But if the minimum is at 1050 Ti, they should be able. The thing is, that mixed with a hard drive, I think it's a recipe for disaster. Shadows will kill performance in the finals. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised because the shadows on this one... The thing is, it removes shadows on low. And I try to have a balance. I know this is a competitive game and everything. It has PvP. But it's still something that I like having a balance of. Not everyone wants to put it at potato graphics and play the game. But I like doing both. They're using GE Proton 1010. Thanks for the heads up. Forgot the PS4 had a calculator CPU. I mean, yeah, definitely. That's exactly it. Oh, and... Ooh, those assets. That CPU is crying. Imagine the PS4 CPU doing this.
Shani here. Don't forget that you can find different types of loot in different
Come on, load those assets.
Check out your map and head to any of the spots I've marked with an icon.
Ooh, but the CPU is crying. Holy hell. I think it's more... This should be a 30 FPS game then. Let me see if this... Yeah, no, it's good. I'm not touching the mouse or the keyboard. Thanks, Tintran. You could see a PS4 Pro running it with some tweaks. I mean, yeah, sure. The thing is, the CPU usage would scare me on that one. Maybe the FPS lock breaks the game. That's another thing that could be. Let me... Yeah, let's disable the FPS cap. This is going to make it stutter like a mother fluffer, but a... There we go. Please don't crash again. Okay, yeah, the FPS cap is not helpful. So if you guys want to use the in-game FPS cap, don't do it. It killed the frame times. But this looks great. Personally, if the game tests into the 40s like this, I'll lock it with the SteamOS FPS cap thing. Oh, already saw me. Is it still running fine? Yeah. I mean, it runs worse than practice, obviously, because there is enemies and there's people running around, and it's a bigger map. Oh god, it has to be the worst spawn I got today. But the frame times are pretty unstable, especially when it comes to the CPU performance. If you see the CPU, is basically maxed out, and the GPU, as you can see, is maxed out as well, the GPU, but the clock speed is into the 1000 MHz range. The GPU can do better. The GPU can get to 1600 if the CPU is not under a lot of load. So here we're CPU limited actually. We could be getting higher frame rates, especially when it comes to GPU performance, but the CPU is taking all the juice. But this is UE5, and I'm playing with 77% resolution. I could go higher, actually. But the only solution that I would give here is to lock it to 30. I mean, there's not much else that we can do about it. You lock it to 30, and apart from GPU performance being better, the CPU doesn't go to 90%. It stays at 60. So in this case, the GPU can actually do more work. We can increase the resolution as well, if we wanted to. So, well, it's nice to be with unlocked frame rates. In this case, I wouldn't go above 30 because the CPU starts crying and, well, it's an unstable mess. So 30 FPS all the way on this one. And let's increase some settings because we have GPU power to spare now, funnily enough. Let's put it on medium and see if it explodes. It's probably going to explode because when I change stuff, the game sometimes crashes on Steam Deck. And I died, but that's okay. No, it's not thermal throttling. It's basically the CPU and GPU are on the same die. They have 15 watts, and it's like, okay, 15 watts, we cannot use more than 15. So they have to share. And when the CPU is maxed out, and is using a lot of power, the GPU has to lower the clock speed, so they don't go past 15 watts. So yeah, when you're CPU limited, the GPU cannot do its best because the CPU is taking that wattage, that extra wattage it needs. I wish we could go when the Steam Deck is connected to, I don't know, to a dock like this. I wish it could do like the Switch that increases the power limit and increases the clock speed, but that's not, it hasn't been designed like that. It runs the same on handheld and docked. So let's keep it at 30 FPS, and we're going to put it basically on medium now. Because again, we have GPU power to spare. The CPU is a big problem here. I'm just keeping the global illumination on low. And then when it comes to resolution, I think we can go a bit higher as well. Maybe 90%? Yeah, 720. 1152 by 720. So this will be TSR 90%. Medium. Medium settings. Low GI. Like every other UE5 game. And the resolution being 90% is 720p. And this should be... This should do it. So 800p. TSR at 90% because TSR in this game, in my opinion, looks better. Motion blur. Turn it off if you want to. No ray tracing. Medium, 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 medium. And low global illumination. And then on the Steam Deck menu, lock it to 30 FPS. Otherwise, you are CPU limited and it's a stutter fest, which I do not recommend. Let's see, let's try it. This map is a bit bigger. And how much stuff do I have here? I have everything. I have space. I guess FPS cost is going to be the same as on the finals. Yeah, foliage is going to be almost free, and shadows, a huge FPS killer. Yeah, that, and I wish the thing with the... I think this game is, at least on the Steam Deck, the big problem for us, on this machine specifically, is the CPU performance. On GPU, it seems to be pretty simple. Again, remember, if you have a PC or something like that, a 1050 Ti is the minimum requirement, and a 1050 Ti is pretty old, pretty slow in comparison to what most people have. So I was not surprised that it runs, but I was expecting the limitation to be the GPU, not the CPU. That's what I'm trying to say. So we're very close to native on a UE5 game in 2025. But again, they're not using Lumen nor Nanite, so I shouldn't be surprised about this performance. It's basically like having RTX on a UE4 game, I think, if you think about it. Because the big features of UE5 that kill performance are not here. So that's what it feels like so far, like a late UE4 game. And again, a 30 FPS cap. You cannot skip that, unfortunately. Otherwise, it's a pretty stuttery endeavor. Let's see what happens. Hopefully my spawn point is better this time. And let me put the text bigger so you guys can see it. Please don't crash, please don't crash. But I got some crashes when changing settings on Steam Deck. Yeah, that's all this game needs, I agree. I mean, not everything needs to have that. You try to undervolt. I tried in the past, and it was fine. But the OLED already has pretty good thermals. Okay, the resolution, I need to drop it. I want a bit high on the resolution, definitely. But hey. Let's go to the top. And unfortunately, with the resolution sacrifice, obviously the hair is not surviving. The textures are not surviving. But that's fine. Ooh, this rifle is horrible. Even with mouse and keyboard, this rifle makes me lose. I thought he tried to jump. It scared the crap out of me. What's dynamic shading? Or do you mean dynamic lighting? No, the dynamic lighting is basically they're asking you, do you want baked lighting or ray traced lighting for global illumination? If you choose static, many things don't cast shadows in real time. And if you choose static, it's the baked lighting that they pre-render the shadows, like in older games. But it has less realism with the lighting. So it's way cheaper on the graphics card. The thing with the Steam Deck here is why enable ray tracing on a on a machine like this. I mean, you can do it, but I think it's not good for the performance. On PC, I lost like 20 frames, even a low dynamic lighting. Yeah, the frame time spikes are not fun. Yeah, the CPU is still crying at 30 FPS. I should lower some stuff. Well, since there are no robots in my vicinity that I know of. Never mind, I said nothing. Oh, somebody else is fighting them. Okay. Never mind. Yeah, I will lower the resolution a bit and a few settings as well. Let's see who the frick is attacking that robot. Well, now it's me. Oh god. Okay. At least one shot in. Yeah, you can make it quote-unquote more efficient, but still. Sometimes it's a little bit too low and it crashes. I think it's already fine as is. What I would like to do is increase the power limit. Good thing I'm about to die. I can try another setting that I was thinking about. I think the draw distance, we can keep it a bit lower to make the CPU do less work. That would be fun. But it's painful right now. Yeah, this weapon is painful even with mouse and keyboard. This weapon, you need to... you shoot once, yeah, it does a lot of damage, but each shot you have to reload and it takes like 2 seconds each time. I was using the random loadout, so I was asking to get the worst weapon. Alright. But don't worry, I'm getting there. I think I got it. A little bit less resolution, because sometimes when I was close to foliage, it kind of died. And some settings that affect CPU, I need to lower them. Probably draw distance. So, the good thing is, at least here they try to explain what each setting does. So I can do something about it. So instead of 90%, let's do 77%. I think it looked good enough. So 616p. This would be like... yeah, this is actually above quality upscaling. Let me check on the presets. Yeah, this is actually higher than quality upscaling. Let's put it at 67 then. 67% upscaling. Why? Because 67% is quality upscaling on the presets. So I'll call it TSR quality. So it's clearer. Quality, which is 67%. And low mid settings with low global illumination. Alright, so there we go, 536p. Let's see, view distance has moderate impact on GPU, minor impact on CPU. Shadows, major impact on GPU, obviously. Moderate on CPU rendering performance. This is GPU, this is video memory, GPU, GPU. Everything is GPU, except in shadows and a little bit of view distance. But I want to keep shadows on medium because otherwise there's no shadows. Fine. I'm going to lower effects in this case. And the view distance, because it also affects CPU a bit. And that's basically it. So anyway, and a little bit of FOV. So the extra FOV gives us a few extra frames, but I think I should lower it a bit, just because I think it's a little bit too much to have it on 70. 65 should be good for a smaller screen. So yeah, basically, as I was saying, 800p, TSR 67%, which is what quality upscaling would be like. 65 degrees vertical FOV, no motion blur, personal preference, static lighting, and a mix of medium and low settings, with the CPU options at the absolute lowest. And that should do it, hopefully. And please lock it to 30 FPS. Do yourself a favor. And I'm going to use a gun that I know how to use. This one. I need to know... okay. Equip. I never played this with a controller. It's interesting to browse menus like this. I don't have ammo for this gun. Jesus Christ. Ah, man. What am I doing with my life? Look, I found my graphics card. Okay, smoke grenade. I do have light ammo for this. I'm going to die anyway, so this will be lost. Alright. And thank you so much, Spencer Walker, for the scary 31st of October donation. He says, for $6.66 US, he says, getting a Lenovo Legion Go 2, but kinda a noob will get an AMD GPU. Oh, eGPU work with SteamOS. And broadly, does official SteamOS just work? Whoa, hold on, it's hard to read that. So you're getting a Legion Go 2, but you want an external AMD GPU to work on SteamOS? I'm not sure if that works out of the box. Bazite should work though. Bazite has very up-to-date drivers. So yeah, max FOV everywhere, on any display. How does CPU run on 2 watts? Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, efficiency is incredible. I mean, same thing with the Switch. When I got a hacked Switch 1 and I saw the wattages for the CPU and GPU, it blew my mind. Especially in handheld mode. It was like less than 5 watts. It makes no sense. It's crazy efficient. The Switch 2 as well, it's pretty, considering the visuals it can provide, even docked, it's using very little power. It's ridiculous. And again, thanks Spencer Walker for the donation. I appreciate that. Had to fit in 150 characters. Don't worry, man. Okay, so now with that lower resolution on the quality upscaling thing, the GPU has way more room to spare. So the GPU is doing less work. And the CPU, well, it still needs to do a lot of the heavy lifting. Yeah, it's significantly better. Although the frame time, still not great, even at 30. But again, I think that's just CPU limitation. Speaking of Tarkov, it will release on Steam. Oh yeah, it will release on Steam on November 15th, on my birthday, actually. But if you already own the game, you have to buy it again. So basically you have to pay for a shortcut if you already own Tarkov. But that's a classic. Can it reach 40s? Yeah, but it stutters like a mother fluffer, basically. Because, well, the CPU limitation is the big problem here. But when it comes to, again, GPU performance, we're good. The thing is the CPU is not enough. It's a shame, honestly. Because it maxes itself out and good luck. So you can technically do 40s, but it's more of a stutter fest. And it's a shame. But it works. The thing is, lock it to 30. The in-game solution doesn't seem to be great. But once you spend a bit of time on the map, it stabilizes. The thing is, the spikes in the frame time that you can get, especially when you get to the map for the first time. Oof. Close enough. Almost got me. Never mind. I think it saw me. Or did it? Okay, I'll pretend it didn't see me. As an escape... Oh, the owner literally laughed about it. Oof. Well, if you have a bigger edition of Tarkov, and you buy like the standard edition on Steam, you still get what you got in the original purchase. Still, I think it's BS, but hey, what can you do? I still own Tarkov. I bought it like 10 years ago, maybe. When did it come out? Tarkov on Steam Deck, no doubts about that one. Yeah, that one will run, but it will be double digits, well, single digits, when something heavy is happening. And well, imagine that with a controller also. Okay, I have the robots and the people and everyone. Okay, before they find me again, I only have a smoke grenade, obviously. Okay, let's wait for him to pop. Oh, never mind, there it is. Oh my god, yeah, of course, I wasn't going to win. But hey, it's dead in the 30s. Just punch me in the face and get it done. Come on, hit me in the face. Thank you. I mean, it's a nightmare to play this with a controller, for me. But if you're playing against other people on the consoles, shouldn't be a big difference. I can barely hit anything. But what bothers me is the frame times there. I was expecting a bit more stability when it comes to that. Let's try another map. But in the meantime, I would say, yeah, low to medium settings, 67% TSR on 800p, and you should be good to go. On the smaller screen, not a big problem. The hair kind of get messed up, but that's all. I'm going to use a free loadout. Not going to take any chances. I know you'd rather not, but potentially check CPU with shadows on low. Sure. Let me record a little bit more of this so I can put it in the video, and we're going to try it. Probably it's going to be less of a stutter fest, that's for sure. But again, I'm just annoying. The thing is, when shadows are missing, my brain cannot accept it. It's like, oh man, why? But I know it's an expensive effect, especially in Unreal Engine, but I don't know. The thing is, many games nowadays don't allow you to disable the shadows completely. Sometimes it's a plus for visibility, but it's hard for me to keep it like that. It breaks my eyes. I will do it, don't worry. Just let me die once more, it won't take long, like 2 minutes, and we're good to go. Is this a Steam Deck OLED or the LCD? This is the OLED, but again, the LCD shouldn't be much of a difference. It has slower memory, so yeah, on the CPU side, it won't be as good, but not by a long margin. Maybe there, if the shadows on low helps on the CPU side, I wouldn't worry too much about it, honestly. Yeah, it's painful. It's painful to sacrifice shadows. It's like, no, why? Please don't leave. Let's do the damn battlegrounds. Damn battlegrounds. Well, another thing that they should fix is the thing that if I connect the mouse and keyboard, that it stutters. But yeah, that's more of a rare use case. But still. Guys, don't cheap out, get the OLED. I mean, the difference in price sometimes is very significant. So if you just want a well-priced machine, the LCD I think is more than good. Battery life isn't the best, it's like 90 minutes when you're playing something heavy. A little bit less performance, very tiny, and you get a worse screen as well. But again, the price difference is huge sometimes. So get what fits your budget. Even the LCD is not a bad purchase. It's just the screen is significantly better on this one and the battery life as well. And the heat and the noise and all that. But if you're just I want to play games for cheaper on a portable device, the LCD is the way to go. No doubt about it. Also, I think I went a little bit... I mean, the VRAM is under control, but it's using all the shared memory. It's using all the 16 gigs, so maybe I have to sacrifice textures as well in order to keep the memory in check. So that's something else that I need to keep in mind. So maybe that helps, actually. We're overflowing the freaking memory. I already heard shots. But now the frame times are way better. Way better doesn't mean the best, obviously. Do you think overclocking with smokeless UMAF and using cryo utilities will help in this case? Overclocking will always help, definitely. Cryo utilities, I don't know how much of an improvement is right now. I mean, I haven't used it. I know I'm on default settings. With the 1 GB thing on the BIOS and all that. After a few upgrades... Oh, not the single shot. So as I was saying, the default settings now, since SteamOS I think is 3.6 or 3.7, are fine. I haven't had much of a problem with it. I usually like to do less tweaks because most people are not going to fiddle with the settings. There we go. Reduce to atoms. You got the LCD Steam Deck today. Learning curve, but love it. Hell yeah. You are now a PC gamer. Whether you like it or not. But yeah, it has a small learning curve. It used to be way worse though. When I first got a Steam Deck, the software needed a lot of tweaking. But yeah, this runs fine. I think I need to sacrifice the textures a bit more, so it doesn't fill up the memory so quickly. But as long as you lock it to 30, yeah, you have some frames and spikes, but it's mostly into the 30s there. The GPU is fine, the CPU cries very often. So one thing that I would do, since the menu says it, is to disable the shadows in order to get it more stable. Let's see. Hopefully I don't die in the process. So let's disable shadows. Let's see how they vanish in front of us. Here we go. I'm going to disable the shadows. Oh my god! Okay, it doesn't disable all the shadows. Okay, it's the self shadows. Sorry, the character shadows. It's not so bad. Okay. I was exaggerating then. Okay, they're not dynamic shadows. It's not so bad. Okay. I thought all of them were gone. But these are still there and still interact with the character. Yeah, the thing about fiddling with the settings is what I like doing. I've been doing that since I first got a PC. The thing is, that didn't make me any better using a controller. But yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, shadows on low is not a bad idea, actually. You just lose those dynamic shadows, especially from your character. But then the other shadows on the environment are completely fine. Yeah, I'm screwed. Run away! Dang it! Space Marine 2 at 20 to 30. Yeah, this for you, in comparison to that, is a big difference, definitely. The freaking robots. Does it cast shadows? Okay. Another advantage you get with shadows on low is that your flashlight doesn't cast shadows. So you get a visual advantage there. Okay. Let's surrender. And let's do it correctly this time. You're playing Alan Wake 2 on Steam Deck, not streamed, 24 FPS, let's go. That's a classic. Yeah, I see a lot of comments like that and it's hilarious, I love it. It's like, oh no, Digital Foundry be like, oh no, 58 FPS, it dropped to 58 on PS5, oh my god, it's horrible, I can feel it's not bespoke. Then Steam Deck, average Steam Deck gamer, man, this game is awesome on Steam Deck. It's 20 frames, frame generated, with a UMA buffer of 4 gigs. Oh my god, dude, that's awesome. It's hilarious. I love all that stuff. Alright. Let's do some tweaks and restart the game. So the tweak that I'll do in this case, I'll keep shadows on low, despite that hurting my feelings. I think the stability here matters quite a bit. So let me show you what I'm doing, otherwise it won't make sense. So again, 67% resolution. You can go higher if you want to. You should be fine. I think 67 accounts well for when there's a lot of explosions and people fighting in the same room. Then when it comes to shadows, low, it disables the dynamic shadows. So your character won't have a shadow. Many things that move do not have shadows. Your flashlight doesn't cast shadows, which can help with visibility. Post-processing on medium keeps the ambient occlusion. That's why I keep it on medium. Textures on low, because despite low VRAM usage on this game, with textures on medium, the 16 gigabytes that the Steam Deck has, 12 gigabytes go to the system, and the other 4 end up filling all the 16 gigabytes that the Steam Deck has. So we need to keep this on low to have some extra memory to spare, to avoid big stutters. And then the foliage and reflections, something like this, and glow illumination on low. But that will be what I'm doing. I'm going to restart the game just to be sure. And do not forget to lock it to 30 FPS. Otherwise, the CPU is going to cry heavily. You won't like it. Digital Foundry sometimes ruins your gaming experience. You started seeing things that you never seen before. I get that a lot. Left 4 Dead 2 runs great on Steam Deck. Man, that's awesome. Yeah, I played it on a plane. Let me disconnect my mouse and keyboard super quick. I don't want nothing interfering. Dark Souls in PlayStation 3 is 13 to 14 at some points. Yeah, I remember. I was one of those people. I played Dark Souls 1 on PS3 with all the bugs and stuff, but I also had the Blacktown frame rates there. Also on PC, I was, at that time, I was in the Prepare to Die edition. I mean, dude, I had to use mods to be able to go past 720 back then. I wish I could play at 30 FPS again. I mean, personally, it's not a big deal for me. I think I got used to it. I got used to seeing stuff at a lower frame rate. I sometimes play at 20 FPS just to F around. But I don't know, I think I got used to it. It's not like, oh yeah, it's not 60, it's unplayable. I can still play at 30. The thing is, when it drops into the 20s, it bothers me. Back in the PS3 era, that didn't bother me, but it was the norm. So yeah, I feel lucky when it comes to that. All right. Back here with the settings that I mentioned. Let's go back to the damn battlegrounds. And let's use a free loadout. Hopefully I don't get a single shot weapon. That'll be nice. To you 40 FPS minimum. I mean, it's a good in-between. 40 FPS feels so much better than 30. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's like... If you think about it, it's, oh, 10 frames more. Yeah, but 10 frames in a 30 FPS range is 33% more FPS. So once you get to 40s, it's 33% smoother. It's like, pfft, that blew my brain. Would you say original Steam Deck like PS4 or PS4 Pro? No, not really. It's slower than the PS4, but it's a lower resolution as well, so it can kind of justify its performance there. I want to still compare The Last of Us Part 2 Steam Deck versus PS4. I have a PS4 with that game, and I wanted to do a comparison with Steam Deck to see if anything beside resolution looks better on PS4. Okay, so low shadows, as you can see, no self-shadow for the character, but the big shadows, the big lighting is there, and it interacts with the character as well. So it's not like your character is floating, but the shadows here are gone for the dynamic stuff, which I think is a good sacrifice to have. No big deal. Memory, we are borderline 16 gigs of usage. We're at 11.7 on the RAM, on the system RAM, and on the VRAM 3.3. So we are borderline 15, 16 gigs. And texture quality, of course, will get a hit, but again, we're talking about stability. It's not 100% stable, as you can see from the frame time there, but I noticed the first few minutes of the map, the CPU is doing more work, so it's probably loading the assets as well. So while it's not perfect, I think it's playable, as long as you're comfortable with a controller in a game like this. Is Steam Deck like a PS4 Series S? Yeah, that would be a good way to put it. It would be what a PS Vita 2 would be, in my opinion. I mean, Sony could easily do something like that nowadays. Funny, we have screen space reflections. GG. And I got the single shot rifle. Perfect. Ooh, I'm seeing the enemies. Those are actual people. Wish me luck. Here we go. Did the guy on the Steam Deck got you? If that happens, it's embarrassing. Oh, he's dead. I'm taking my time. Please nobody shoot me in the back. Ha, gotcha! Yeah, right. It was me. I did it! Totally, everything was me. No help. Games are reasonably optimized nowadays. There's problems, of course. I wouldn't agree with many games nowadays are very optimized. I would say unoptimized is a better word. Okay, somebody's waiting. But yeah, I would say it's playable. As you can see, as I advance through the map, after a few minutes of spawning, the frame times get better. And again, I think you can increase the resolution if you wanted to. I'm keeping it low just to give it some room to spare when there's more effects on screen and stuff. But the CPU still cries from time to time. Oh, hi there. And yeah, some texture popping. But again, considering it's a new UE5 game on Steam Deck, it runs better than I expected. Have you had any crashes? Yes, I did have a crash at the beginning when I was tweaking the FPS lock inside the game. But the game crashes when I'm using mouse and keyboard as well, and it's a stutterfest there as well. So yeah, again, I'm pretty surprised with this performance. And the fact that you can still increase the resolution is a big deal, in my opinion. So let's see how it runs with an analog frame rate now to finish off my fiddling around. Let me hide in this bush. And let's see, let's unlock it. Oh, the CPU. Oh, but it's so much smoother. My eyes. But see, the CPU doesn't like that one bit. It's pretty smooth now, looking. But, yeah. As soon as something happens, the frame time will spike. But you can keep it unlocked if you prefer that. Still feels pretty good. Pretty responsive. But no crashes so far, apart from using mouse and keyboard the first time. Oh, I thought it was an enemy, it was just this random thing flying about. Yeah, pretty good. Even with the unlock frame rate having frame time spikes, it's pretty acceptable. So if you want to do unlock frame rates, you can also do it. You're sacrificing battery, obviously, and heat, but... Okay, they already took this. Ninja Go 2 Series S performance roughly. I haven't tried it, but is it the Z2 Extreme? If that's the case, I understand. The thing is how much resolution you want out of it. Let's see. I still can't believe that I'm using screen space reflections here. Z2 Extreme, okay. I think that's like maybe 20 to 30% faster than the Z1 Extreme, maybe? I think I'll try your Series X controller with Steam Deck. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. It works pretty well. You might find a little bit of input lag. That's something I noticed with Xbox controllers on Steam Deck. That didn't happen with the DualSense. Not sure if it's a Bluetooth issue or just a bug on my end. It was pretty weird. Okay, I'll go somewhere else. Okay, the only elevators left are on the other side of the map. Oh! Yeah, of course. Excuse me, sir. Pew pew! Please don't shoot! Oh, dude, the reload takes so freaking long. Okay. Let the robot do its thing. Come on, robot! Freaking reload! Okay. Oof. No! Dang it! Not the freaking robot! Okay. But hey, it went better than I expected. I was expecting to die by a player, not by an AI. GG. And as you can see, the pop-in, we're also sacrificing that. Those trees over there. That's the low draw distance. You can increase it if you want to, but the CPU will cry a bit more. But I'm happy I got some shots in. That was cool. Let's do one more. Should have teamed up? No, that doesn't happen. They say don't shoot and then shoot you in the face. Which is okay. It reminds me of the days of DayZ at the beginning. That people were friendly, but then they shot you in the back and good luck. I think that's kind of the point, but it was funny. Yeah, Andy, I agree. Especially for indie games, it's great. But the fact that it runs this game this way is pretty impressive. New destination available. Okay, let's try it. The Blue Gate. Okay. Let's try this with unlocked frame rates. Let's use a free loadout. Let's see if I get a single shot rifle again. But hey, with unlocked frame rates actually, it feels pretty smooth, but the CPU cries quite a bit more. No big deal, but all up to you. The thing is, you can increase the pixel count if you're at 30 FPS. What's your top 3 games on Steam Deck right now? Right now, Chronos The New Dawn is fantastic on Steam Deck. Has some drops below 30, but nothing major. I would say, oh, it's unplayable. Then, I always play Left 4 Dead 2. That's one that I cannot let go. And I'm revisiting Lollipop Chainsaw. I want to do a video on that one as well. Oh, and Killing Floor 3. Killing Floor 3 has horrible performance, but I'm giving it a chance. We'll see. But Lollipop Chainsaw, Left 4 Dead 2, and I don't remember the first one. But when it comes to games that I love on Steam Deck, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of good stuff. I mean, Cuphead is great, Witcher 3, Fallout 4. You can play a lot of stuff there. There's no limit at the moment. Chronos. That's the one. Yeah, Chronos The New Dawn. I'm enjoying it a lot. It's not 100% Dead Space and not 100% Resident Evil. It's like an in-between. Can you make a video on getting Catherine working on the deck? I haven't played it ever. It's been a while. I remember it was console exclusive, then got a PC port. Sure. I mean, do you know how to make it work? I mean, I have Proton DB. Original Lollipop Chainsaw, yeah, with RPCS3 you can do it. And I also tried Repop, but Repop requires very low, well, the Nintendo Switch settings. I don't know why they went full Unreal Engine 5, I think it was, on Lollipop Chainsaw. It's crazy how bad it performs. Chronos, basically 30 FPS. You can unlock it if you want to, be close to the 40 something. It has traversal stutter, but it has a very low preset that is basically Unreal without nanite nor lumen, so it has great performance. There are some missing shadows because level illumination is turned off, but the game looks good for a smaller screen, and it has a native Linux port, so it's a Linux version of the game. It feels good. Just the traversal stutter is kind of annoying, but it happens on my PC as well. So yeah, Chronos highly recommended. Now it's verified when it got the Linux version. So yeah, if you're interested in that one, there's a demo actually for Chronos if you guys want to try it. The demo is on Steam, and I think it's discounted on Steam as well. I'll show you at the end. But yeah, that's a great game. I'm also playing it on Switch 2. So let's see, unlock frame rates. Let's pretend we're trying to get 40s. This map, I never been here, so I have no idea how it goes. But this map seems heavier. But again, if you want to lock it to 40, you can do it. The thing is, it's not super stable. And at 30, the frame times are not great, even with the in-game FPS log, so choose your poison, I guess, in that regard. But it's getting better. As I play more matches, maybe it's compiling some shaders that I'm not noticing. But I think it's playable. Just, you have to sacrifice the shadows and the draw distance and all that. And some of the resolution. Yeah, here, those spikes in the frame time. The CPU doesn't like that. Have you put Windows on your Steam Deck? Windows? Yeah. I did. I have a separate partition. I deleted it recently because I wanted to start off clean. The thing is, most of the time that I want to show a game on Steam Deck, unless it's a Windows exclusive thing, I rarely show Windows performance on Steam Deck. It takes a bit of fiddling. And many times SteamOS runs the games better, which is hilarious. I want to wait for, yeah, the Windows full screen Xbox experience thing. Once it's 100% officially working properly, hopefully that happens at some point. I'm probably going to make a video on that. Oof, that scared me. Jesus Christ. Dead Space Remake, but it's max CPU constantly. Yeah, Dead Space Remake is kind of broken on PC. I mean, even on my high-end PC, it's a stuttery mess, Dead Space Remake. They will never fix it. That studio, I think they laid off all the employees. They were planning for Dead Space 2 Remake, and they were like, no, not interested. Close the studio. What a shame. But as I was saying, if you want to do unlock frame rates, you can. It will be inconsistent, but the response of the controls is much faster. So it will give you an edge. But personally, I'll still recommend locking it to 30 for consistency. Ooh, I'm so screwed. Let me in. The good benefit of turning shadows off, at least the dynamic ones, is that you don't need, when you're using the flashlight, it doesn't cast shadows, so you have way better visibility indoors. So it's kind of a hack sometimes. How is Windows on MicroSD? I mean, it works. The thing is, if your MicroSD is not garbage when it comes to speeds. If that's the case, good luck. It's like using Windows on a hard drive. But it should be good enough. As long as the speed of the card matches the maximum the Steam Deck can read, it should be good. Yeah, it feels pretty smooth with unlock frame rates. With lock to 30, it's okay. But of course, since it's a lower frame rate and we're using the in-game, not the in-game, the SteamOS FPS log, that is not perfect, you can feel some latency. Again, this works here, but you still drop into the 30s, even if you go for the absolute lowest settings. Jesus Christ. This map is destroying me. Did I get him? No. Yeah, sit for an hour to compile, but at that point I was like, we're done, Dead Space. Yeah, I mean, let's fall. We're dead. I'm still alive, okay. That's hilarious. But I have no teammates, so good luck with that. Did you try the new path of Ghost of... Oh, the new patch of Ghost of Tsushima? I haven't. I will. There's apparently a Steam Deck preset now, and they separated the multiplayer from the campaign, the executable. So yeah, before that, let me try the in-game FPS cap once more. But what do you guys think about this live stream? I'm trying to do something different. Instead of doing the video alone, I record stuff here, and then I keep the live stream up and the video with all the thoughts compiled in a edited thing. So I can talk to you guys while I play, and at the same time I can, if you want to see the entire testing from start to finish, you can do it as well. The thing that I need to figure out is how to point to the Steam Deck screen at 60 frames with a camera. Otherwise I cannot show you battery life and all that. No, this game does not have a quote-unquote story mode, I think. Oh, hold up. Frame limit. I'll be here waiting for it to be down to 30. Yeah, here when I'm using sliders of any kind, it hard locks the game to 3 FPS. So if I want to try the in-game FPS cap, it takes forever to get down there. Yeah, and it crashes the game when I use sliders a lot. Yeah, you guys can ask questions in real time. That's also a good point. Yeah. Yeah, the Steam Deck settings, I wonder what they are on Ghost of Tsushima. Battery life is usually just 2 hours. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's going full throttle right now. What is hard to show on a stream is that when I take the screen of the Steam Deck with a camera, in real time, it's hard to convey. Because I have webcams, but they're not 60 frames at 4K. And there's latency when I show it. So we'll see. But 2 hours is a good estimate for a game like this. Because if I keep the capture card plugged in, it'll still use power through the dock. So it would be more than when you're not plugged to anything. But this one really surprised me with the performance. I was expecting it to run well because people were saying, oh man, finally an optimized UE5 game. But it runs way better than I expected. It's not the best looking game in the world, obviously, but it looks good enough. Okay. Oh, this is still unlimited. Okay, I'll plug in a mouse and keyboard. This is, in real life, I wouldn't. Let me see if I can use the trackpad. Yeah, I can. Okay, using the trackpad, I chose 30 FPS in the frame rate limit. So with the same settings as before, but now at 30 FPS limit from the game itself, let's see what happens. And let's do the same freaking map that destroyed me a moment ago. 30 FPS with controller. How can you compete against high frame rate plus mouse? You don't. You just do it for the love of the game, I guess. Better than Metal Gear Solid 3 and Borderlands 4. I mean, that's a very low bar to surpass, so... But yeah, it's true. Those games run so poorly, it's crazy. 30 FPS cap in game. Is it better to lock the FPS in the game? I'm trying to figure that out. The frame times are still trash with the in-game FPS cap apparently, so there's no good way to lock it, I think. This is one of those exceptions where I would say maybe keep it unlocked. Me estoy jugando el modo sin retorno en el Last 2 y jugar con Joel sin poder esquivar sí que joder. Sí, mal, Benjamin. Today, you and your buddies gifted a friend of ours who is a bit poor 478 gigabytes. That's a great card. especially if he doesn't have any. Got it for 40 euros, and he was so shocked when he got it, made his day. I mean, yeah, of course. I did that once with a few friends, it's awesome. I think he had like a GTS 450, and we gave him a 750 Ti or a 1050 Ti. It was a huge upgrade. Seems as like a small thing, but he will remember that forever. That's so awesome. Have you tried Escape from Tarkov on deck? I haven't. I had very little time, honestly, these days. Work has been so insanely heavy, which is good for me. I get money by the hour. But I didn't even have time to see what games were coming out. It was insanely difficult this week and last week. Okay, yeah, the FPS cap inside the game is still not good. So I would say in this particular case, just keep the game unlocked. It will affect the battery, it won't feel consistent, but at least the stuttering is less obvious. I'll just keep it unlimited. Yeah, I mean, the frame time is stupidly better, even if you lock it with the SteamOS FPS cap. The game doesn't like that. I mean, the frame times are better with the SteamOS FPS lock, but there's some input latency that is not present when I disable the frame limit. So the game doesn't like those FPS caps. You returned Tarkov because it doesn't have controller support yet? What? Really? That's insane. I thought that game was meant to be played with a controller. That's insane. I'm used to having the contrary situation. Like when Ninja Gaiden came to PC for the first time, only controller support. You couldn't use mouse and keyboard. So yeah. In this case, this particular case, I'll keep it unlocked just for responsiveness. It's ridiculously more responsive, but it will hover between 30 and 45 because we're CPU limited. Especially on that front. Oh, he had an RX 550. Okay. Yeah, it's a huge upgrade. 550 to 4070. Yeah. I used to test that GPU. A beast. You can even play 1440p from some older games. So yeah, this is an unlocked frame rate game for me. And yeah, the CPU cries, but you can actually... This will be the stable way to play it. The most stable way. Very quickly I'll do a less stable way. So if you don't care about being much above 30, because you cannot lock it to 30 anyway, increase the draw distance a bit, add shadows, add medium textures, and that's it. I think that's all I would do. Medium settings. So you get better visuals. And the resolution, I'll keep it the same. So again, if you want better graphics, I mean, you have now shadows, better draw distance, and all that. Again, since we cannot cap it to 30, it looks, in my opinion, significantly better like this, and you still get a similar frame time. And when you're getting hit very hard, it drops into 29, so not the worst deal in history. Okay, I'm getting better with the aiming now. Whoa. So you have those options. Unfortunately, the stuttering will still be there. But it will be less apparent with the previous settings. Epic frame gen inherently has it, maybe you don't notice it, but you're... Oh, you're dying, boss. Okay, at least I stay still, but I'm about to die. But I'll do FrameGen because you guys requested it. Just let me run a little bit. So I have some more footage, at least. But it's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. Have you tried AMD FSR? FSR doesn't look great in this game. That's why I'm using TSR. But FSR has a lot of issues in motion. Very, very chunky, and it has ghosting even on XeSS. If you're using XeSS, lots of ghosting. So either TSR or DLSS on this one, if your GPU supports it. You're playing Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus at the moment. Fantastic game. And it runs amazing. I played that on my... When I got a higher end GPU, I played that at 4K. And it was like 100 FPS at 4K. And it was insanely responsive. Yeah, stupidly optimized in a good way. Okay. So, let's put it like before, but now with FrameGen. So, we're doing this. Yeah. And let's do FrameGen. By popular vote. Okay, so for FrameGen, I do have that plugin. Yeah, here, Decky LSFG-VK. So I have to grab the command, copy it, and then go to this on properties and paste it. So this should give me FrameGen. It's better to have an in-game solution, but better than nothing. What Proton? Proton Experimental. Let's call this lossless scaling. There you go. Hopefully it doesn't crash. I don't think it will, but you never know. Life doesn't let you enjoy games much now. Same. That's why I play less on PC and more on consoles now. It's just like my PC is trapped in the office in the back of my house, and my consoles are always on my room, so it's the only way to play stuff. But it's normal. It happens to all of us at some point. Just stick to one game and you'll enjoy it. I think sticking to one game is the key. Okay, here we go. Let me see if this is FrameGen or not. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it is. This is running. Arc Raiders is running. Okay. Oh. Duh. I didn't put the 2x thing. Why is it locked to 60 here? I'm so confused. Okay, now the FrameGen is on. Gotcha. So 2x FrameGen. And let's see what happens. Yeah, I notice when I'm moving through the menus, I can see like the FrameGen stuff there. The artifacts. Your backlog has so many unplayed old games, old gems, and it keeps growing up. So, yeah. Hope the deck will fix this. What? Why? Oh, you mean the... Yeah, it's a backlog destroyer, the Steam Deck, definitely. Unless you're someone like me and you make videos on it, then it becomes just another job. So yeah. I'm out with unlock frame rates. Yeah. But yeah, the Steam Deck destroys backlogs. It's fantastic. Especially, I mean, I finished Fallout 4 there, that I never finished before. I finished a couple Resident Evil games. I don't know, it's fantastic. I love it. For backlog, it's the best device that you can get. Okay. Oof. The input lag. Okay. No. Jesus Christ. This feels horrible. I mean, I can see around the character that there's artifacts. The crosshair gets artifacty when I move it. It's pretty distracting. And I'm not entirely sure this is actual... Yeah, I don't think it's jumping from 30 to 60, but if you look at it, I mean, apart from the input lag, the artifacts in this game are pretty obvious. Jesus. I mean, the option is there if you want to use it, but it's kind of making me sick. It does look smooth, but it doesn't feel great. Oh god, the input lag. Hey, Frank Jones. So yeah, FrameGen, I mean, it works if you want to use it with lossless scaling like I'm doing right now, but there is visual artifacts because the base frame rate is pretty low. It's probably into the 20s and 30s. I'm not sure why the game is locked to 60 though. I unlocked it. So due to that, you get input lag with the low frame rate as a base, and you get the artifacts because there's not enough information to get a stable image. Especially at the edges of the screen and in the middle of the screen sometimes. The crosshair gets kind of bonkers. Battlefield 1 Italian campaign. No, Battlefield 1 looks better than most games. Okay, gotcha. Good to see someone playing this on a handheld live. I mean, yeah, the thing with making handheld videos that I noticed, that I found pretty interesting, is that it's so easy to lie about the benchmarks in handhelds. I like doing it live due to that reason alone. I think it's more obvious that I'm not faking my results. Because people sometimes ask me about it, if I'm streaming the game from a console, or I don't know, if I'm altering the numbers. And at least I can give you my experience in real time. This part, for example, now with this frame gen, is kind of making me sick. Ugh, I cannot even speak properly now. So I don't have to rehearse anything. And usually, it's funny, I usually see people, well, in the past when I was only doing GPU performance, saying, oh no, it runs great on my PC, it's your PC that's bad. And I'm like, okay. When I ask them, how do you run it at 40 FPS if I'm running it at 20? And they showed me a screenshot, it was Hitman. And it was Hitman staring at the freaking wall in the first level. And I was like, okay, I get it why you get 40s now. I mean, it's like somebody, I don't know, told me, oh no, Arc Raiders on Steam Deck, no, it's fantastic, it's 60 across the board. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's 60, how? And they show me a screenshot of this, without context. But as soon as I move the camera, it becomes, well, vomit-inducing. And I see that more often on Steam Deck than on GPUs, which is funny. Sometimes I see the Steam Deck subreddit and I'm like, what are you talking about? What do you mean this runs well? I don't know. Sometimes, I mean, if they play the game like that, fine, respect. I wish I could do it. But I find it very disingenuous for people that want to buy a Steam Deck. That's why I like to show rough numbers. Like, the numbers in real time, so there's no doubts about it. Yeah, or the camera to the ground. It's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. It's 6 FPS all the time. And then you see in the background is like frame gen 3 times, 1p resolution, no camera motion, no gameplay, so you cannot see the inputs in real time. You cannot see the input lag, like doing this. It looks fast, but it's really... the input lag is there. It's hard to tell like this, but... and the explosion is coming. Okay, I think he lost me. Yeah. No, this is not right out of the box now. Now it's with frame gen.
Look at me going.
I think someone's speaking to me. Yeah, there's a guy at the top there. Let's disable frame gen before he kills me. So frame gen off would be like this. This is without frame gen. So without frame gen, it's pretty respectable. It's into the 40s, that's why it can kind of get into the 60s. Not sure why it was hard locked to 60 though. But the thing is, here we have a decent base frame rate. Not much is happening right now in the game. At the beginning, sometimes it drops into the 30s. But with frame gen disabled, this is what you get, really. So if you use lossless scaling, you can frame gen the hell out of 40 FPS. But again, you can feel the input lag, it's not great. But people ask for it all the time, that's why I use it. But I have to clarify everywhere, this part of the video is with frame gen. Like, personally I don't like using it, but it is what it is. Oh, and that's a person. Yeah, I cannot hit anything from this distance. Oh god. Okay, at least I broke the shields. How do you talk in-game on handheld? The Steam Deck has 2 microphones at the front, so you always have a microphone. You can turn it off if you want to. That's what I do. I usually disable voice chat. But on the Steam Deck you have 2 microphones at the front. Okay, a couple shots at least. Yeah, of course. I mean, if I got him with frame gen with less than 30 FPS base, he should be ashamed. Come on, hit me in the face. Please. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, stable 40s doesn't happen, unfortunately. The FPS caps in this game don't feel great. It's kind of a bummer, really. But you can be into the 40s with drops into the 30s. That's basically the takeaway. This is one of those cases where I recommend keeping it unlocked despite the fluctuations. Alright, let's do one more map. And I'll tell you my thoughts in the middle. Yeah, the mic quality is pretty solid. Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy they put a microphone there. Because if I'm playing with friends, well, when I play with friends Left 4 Dead 2, as an example, I have Discord as an extra program running in the background, and they hear me just fine. Okay, so again, settings, recommended 800p, TSR 67%, this is quality upscaling, static lighting, and basically these settings right here. And we do not cap it to 30, because when capping the frame rate, the game really doesn't like that. The frame times are all over the place. So unlock frame rates on this one, and enjoy the game. And do not use a mouse and keyboard, otherwise it will be a stutter fest once more. Yeah, it's still good enough in my opinion as well. Let me disable the frame gen thing. I don't want it to interrupt. This one. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that, Sid. That's awesome. Thanks for sticking around, guys. It's insane that usually the thing that I did the most on YouTube was playing games on budget GPUs, and that gave me a lot of experience to touch lower end hardware, which is, it's interesting. I used to have only one GPU, and I had to do a lot of weird stuff to make games work properly. Steam Deck dedicated servers on some multiplayer games. That's yeah, I don't know. If you're not playing the game, maybe. But it shouldn't be an issue if you're hosting a local game on Left 4 Dead 2. The thing is, if you're going for bigger games, then the CPU wouldn't like that very much. Yeah, this is the OLED. The Steam Deck OLED. If you have the LCD, still playable though. Shouldn't be a problem. Just keep the game unlocked, otherwise the frame times are going to be all spiky. But here we go. One more time. I'm going to go to the map that I played the most, which is the first one. And we'll see what happens. But as I was saying, what blows my mind is that there's more people interested now in watching me talk about the Steam Deck than talking about budget GPUs. And I think that's because the budget GPUs basically don't exist anymore. If you want to build a PC, it's super expensive. Yeah, exactly. Lower-end hardware makes you appreciate when you have better spec CPUs and GPUs. Exactly. Yep. You hit the nail in the head, as you would say. So that's why I can kinda get around running things that I shouldn't on the Steam Deck. The Outer Worlds 2, yeah, it should be okay. I don't know how it runs, I haven't tried it yet, but it's Unreal Engine 5 and it's Obsidian, so it's probably going to run poorly. If you look at the first game on the Spacer's Choice Edition, that's Unreal Engine 4, doesn't run particularly great. Okay, so now we jump into the game again. And with the recommended settings and unlock frame rates to avoid the bad frame times when locked to 30 or 40, this should do. Actually, one thing that could work is if you disable the FPS cap on your Steam Deck menu and you put the screen at 40 Hz and then enable VSync in game. That should probably give you a good FPS log now that I think about it. I cannot do it here because I'm connected to the capture card, but if you're fully handheld, that should actually work. Now that I think about it. Let's go to the armory. But yeah, the plan is to do Outer Worlds 2 at some point. Today was Arc Raiders because I wanted to give it a shot, and it was way cheaper than Outer Worlds 2. That's a big problem, I think. The biggest issue now, apart from the hardware being more expensive, is that games are super expensive. This one is $39.99, I think. But Outer Worlds, I think it's $70. I think it's insane that they charge that much for a game. You have 4770, it's still kicking, although you might think to change it, but you run Spider-Man 2 on 4 cores, 8 threads, and the new Xbox Ally, well, yeah, it matches your i7 when it comes to thread count. It's kind of crazy to think about. 10 years ago, that was like the fastest CPU that you could buy, and now it's on a handheld. You have a similar experience. Yeah, it's way more responsive like this, and you don't have as bad of a frame time in comparison to before, when I locked it to 30 at the beginning. So yeah, I really like what they are doing with this. And considering, as I say all the time, considering it's UE5, it has no business running this good on Steam Deck. But the CPU is the main limitation on this one, by a long shot. And somebody's fighting that robot over there. Oh no, they're just walking around. But respect. Respect when it comes to... They actually took their time to polish the game. At least when it comes to performance. I didn't rely on nanite and lumen. They have... Okay, do you want dynamic lighting or backlighting only? It's like... Okay. That's awesome. If this was a classic UE5 game, it would be forced ray tracing. And this one tells you, hey, if you don't want ray tracing, we have backlighting as well. It doesn't look as good, but it's there if you need it. The thing is that takes more time to develop something with that many options. Yeah, and the anti-cheat is not an issue on this one either. I could play the game just fine on Linux. So GG. You stay between 30 or upper 20s and the mid 40s in the game. If I find an alternative on locking it to something without having spikes in the frame time, I'll let you know about. On my side, I think this is worth playing on Steam Deck. Of course, the graphics will be compromised. But you can get away with a higher resolution if you don't mind some extra time into the 30s instead. So yeah. GG Embark. I wasn't expecting to play this on Steam Deck personally. But this feels pretty good. And well, the resolution is low, but on the smaller screen, it's fine. You know what, I think I'll show you that before I go. Let me think about it for a second, what I need to do. Oh yeah, I need to swap to my other scene collection. One sec. Hopefully that worked. So this is what I used to show you my camera differences, my GPU differences. Let's see if I can make it focus. Ugh. Okay. Of course, the controller. Let me turn off Bluetooth. Where is it? Oh, dang it. I lost controller. No! Okay, fine, whatever. The thing is, it looks pretty good like this. It's fine. It's probably hard to see, but on the smaller screen it looks good. And by good I mean decent enough. So yeah, that's my hacky way to show you. And battery life, 2 hours, 10 minutes. That's basically it. Alright. Let's connect it back. One sec. Oof, I'm back. Alright. I hope that was helpful. Let me re-enable Bluetooth so I can control it. Yeah, that's the thing with external controllers at times. But it looks pretty good on a smaller screen. Pretty surprised. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. I'm trying something different. I wasn't expecting this live stream to take off that much. I mean, there's 160 people watching. That's insane. Thank you so much. On my PC live stream, it was like 50 people. So this is a huge change. So I appreciate that. Thank you guys. And well, the VOD of this live stream will be available if you want to watch it. You can have the entire experience from when I first launched the game to now. So if you want to see it by yourself, There it is. But I'll chop this up and turn it into a video. So if you don't want to watch like, how much? Almost 2 hours. I can just summarize it for you guys. So yeah. Anti-G works, yeah. More crazy, new handhelds like MSI Claw has 8 cores, 8 threads. It runs well. Oh, and your kids in 15 years, yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 will be a legacy title. A game that could run on a potato, I'm pretty sure. Anybody else enjoy watching their wife mow the lawn? What? You have a lawn in 2025? You can afford that? Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys. See you on the next one. Bye-bye. Thank you. I appreciate that. Good night. Have a nice weekend.